Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well today. Going into another great weekend, today I want to talk to you about Masterpiece Transformers 2.0s and the bad. Why it's bad. The downsides of 2.0s. And there's going to be some positives, so of course I'm going to cover the positives first because I like to hit things from both sides, from multiple angles. But as we know, we got a new Galvatron coming from Fans Toys, and a lot of people feel like it's not necessary, and yeah, that's an issue. But that's only one of the many issues with making 2.0 figures from the same company. We'll talk about this and more coming up. Starting out, a 2.0 gives collectors that weren't collecting at the time an opportunity to buy a particular character. So that's, well, the first one that came out is out of run, it's not at retail, it's triple the price on secondary market. Well, now I get a new one. So I get a new figure, I get an opportunity. So a lot of people weren't collecting at the time that a particular figure came out. Well, you know, reissues do the same thing, right? You know, the funny thing is I missed out on Sovereign when it first came out. I was collecting, but I missed out on it because I didn't want to spend the money on it because I already had what I felt was a decent enough Galvatron. And then after time and watching other people show reviews and comparisons, I eventually got the M version myself. And I do agree, it's better than the DX9, but it still wasn't the greatest figure in the world, but it was still very, very good, very solid. I could nitpick anything to death, and I'm very happy with this. But I missed out with the first run of it. I'm very happy with the M version. Sometimes you get something for a better price. So, kind of the same thing. So, kind of the reissue. It's another positive. If a 2.0 comes out, the 1.0 Tesla, well, guess what? You could probably still get that for $100. I sold mine off before all of the 2.0 stuff came out, or Jansen with X-Transbots, that whole Perceptor war. But the other thing is as expensive as Tesla was when it first released, which I think it was like 150 to 160, 170. I don't even remember. I have to look it up. But it went on clearance to like 130, so it was about the same as the X-Transbots Jansen. And with that, the fact they put a 2.0 out, it was very inexpensive to get either version of Tesla. When before the first one, which wasn't that great, was going for stupid money, like $500. And we'll stick with this picture. You get a better version. It is an improved version. It is vastly superior to the first Tesla. Like night and day. I own the first one. I had it, and I was happy I had it because it was just so rare and hard to get. But the more I looked at it on my shelf, the more I realized they are going to make a 2.0, or someone else is going to put a decent Perceptor out. So I sold it when it was still super hyper hysteria. And then they actually announced it shortly after I sold mine. So it was one of those luck timing things. Well, now I'm just left holding the bag on some 1.0s that are worthless. So, I mean, it's a give and a take. And yes, you can get cheap previous versions, as with this Bumblebee. And Bumblebee's another example. But some would argue that they like the first version better. So, it is what it is. Now for the bad. Why is it a problem? What are the issues with 2.0? And the issues are, number one, so I got a list here, takes away from a slot that a new character could get made. Now, Fans Toys and X-Transbots, and I don't really say so much Takara, they've got a lot on their plate. And it's like, how long till we get this stuff? We get about 8 figures a year, something like that. When are we going to get this Optimus Prime? When are these new Carbots that are coming out? When are they coming out? When are we going to get the rest of the Minibot? You know, if you're going to take a poll of what figure would you like to come out next, I don't think Galvatron would be in the top 20. Seriously, if you took everything that Fans Toys is working on, okay, 19. But this would be much higher on the list than Galvatron. Vastly higher on the list. Every Computron figure is probably higher on the list than another Galvatron, in my opinion. I'm not saying I'm not buying the Galvatron when it comes out, because I'm a sucker, but I'm going to be buying it. Finishing the Devastator is way more important to collectors than this Galvatron. And it's kind of like, well, why do we have to space out the Devastator for so long, or all the combiners for so long, as it looks like they're coming along quite well? Why do we gotta wait? Why are we getting this 2.0 Sovereign instead of finishing up this combiner? Why not do some reissues with that slot? You could, or will the reissues get peppered in? Anyway, people feel like this Hoodlum should be a 2.0 because of the couple of issues they have. I feel like the design is fine. I feel like they could just fix the couple of issues they have and do some minor upgrades to it. If you watch my channel, I'm like a broken record, but Spotter will never get reissued. So you're getting 2.0s of decent, solid figures for the most part. And these aren't going to get reissued. This should get a 2.0. This should be a 2.0 because this is a very dated mold. Very, very early. But also the fact they lack the ability to reissue it. So with all of that, the choices of the 2.0 are kind of odd. All right, now we're back to this. The next one is will not sell as well. So there's already a market of people, okay, a small market of collectors. Maybe there's 20,000 collectors. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe that's 50,000 that collect Masterpiece Transformers. I don't know. But a certain amount of them, maybe it's 20%, maybe it's 40%, are satisfied with what they already have. There are people that are satisfied with the Tesla FT09 and they didn't feel they should upgrade to 2.0. They said it in my comments. So with that, the 2.0s will not sell as well because the 1.0 already exists from the specific company. Now, if Fans Toys puts out their version of something that they haven't made yet, such as Optimus Prime, it's going to sell very, very well. But a 2.0 Tesla, every place put that thing on sale. Every single retailer put that on sale. Well, the next issue, inevitably, a 2.0 leads to a 3.0, which leads to a 4.0. When does it stop? So this 2.0 is kind of the beginning of something, a cycle, something that will continue, especially if you're Takara. And it's with the more popular main characters, the ones that would generally get multiples, not just like I don't see a Tesla 3.0 ever from Fans Toys. I think they learned their lesson on that. We can get into some other ones, but Takara, they have come out of the gate with now a fourth version of a Masterpiece Optimus Prime. And I think that they massively over-engineered MP44. I didn't like how chunky MP10 was. MP01 was the old 12-inch scale. There's all kinds of reasons, excuses to do this. But the next one that's coming out, it's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins. In the same breath, I do not think we'll see a 3.0 Spindrift. Now, this one was a swing and a miss the first time. Second time, I still think X-Transbots was better. I think there's a lot of rivalry here between X-Transbots and Fans Toys. Well, I've thought that for over 5 years. I've made videos about that all this time. But the next one after this, there won't be a 3.0. But 2.0s can confuse the market. So there were people saying that X-Transbots, which is the one on the left that is not even to color prototype form yet, but that is a prototype. Okay, X-Transbots on the left. The Fans Toys 2.0 on the right. Make sure I said all that exactly. But it really looks like Fans Toys is trying to make theirs look a little bit more like the X-Transbots than their own Sovereign design. Or maybe X-Transbots is that close to the animation model versus what Sovereign was doing. But at the end of the day, they both look to be great options. Confusing the market here with people that were wanting to get the X-Transbots, looking forward to it, but Fans Toys is going to beat them to the punch. So one thing that Fans Toys likes to do is bot block. They'll put their pictures out, their renders out, they'll say they got theirs coming. And then they usually take a lot longer to get their product out. But in this case, they're not just bot blocking, they're being first to market or second to market because they have already got one out there. So they're first and second to the market, X-Transbots in this race is third to the market, and the project almost seems dead in the water. I haven't heard anything about it in a while. You would think they'd want to up their game with what's going on with Fans Toys, but on the other hand, I don't want them to rush it because, QC issues. And then there was the discussion from X-Transbots that they were going to do a 2.0 Polygon. Which, why? I do agree we need another Megatron option in the Masterpiece realm than MP36. MP36 is pretty complicated, but looking at a Polygon, looking at MP36, I don't think an Apollyon 2.0 is going to be more simplistic. I think it's going to be more of a pain in the butt to transform anyway. Why not just Magic Square? Which that one's not exactly a walk in the park either. I think nothing's easy to turn into a gun, except the G1. The next negative that I want to talk about is selling your old one. Good luck getting what you paid out of your old one. Okay, let's put it like this. A lot of times collectors pay the retail price. They get a good deal at Show Z, and they wait 2 or 3 extra weeks longer than everyone else, and then they've saved, in this case, this figure probably $80 cheaper than everywhere else. And then they got a good deal, whatever. But then there's the times where you missed out and you had to pay up instead of paying whatever this figure was originally, I think $180 or something. Then you end up having to pay like $300. Well, you're not going to get your $300 out of this when the 2.0 comes out, and it's coming soon. So when that comes out, you're going to see people dumping these for like $150 but not being able to sell them. And maybe I'm wrong, but I can see that already. I've already seen people putting them up for pretty good prices in the groups, and which I don't need one, so like, why not jump on them? But if it was 4 years ago, right around the time this thing had sold out everywhere, those prices, they'd have been gone in seconds. But because the 2.0 is coming, people are already starting to try to dump them, but it'll be a mass exodus of dumping these things when the 2.0 is released. And so that's a problem. Like if you want to, okay, I want to wait till I get my 2.0. I want to put them side by side, and I want to decide which one I like better. How much better is it? Spend a couple weeks with it, then put it up for sale, and then it will not sell for a retail price. You're going to have to give it away at a fire sale. Which in turn goes right back to one of the positives, that somebody else out there is going to get a deal. So the negatives turn positive. It's the cycle of life, the cycle of collecting, and it's just the way the game's played. Now, don't hate this player, and don't hate the game, just know how to play it. But with that, some people are accepting of taking a loss on a figure. I enjoyed it on my shelf for 5 years, and I am getting enough out of it to put some of it towards the 2.0, and I'm happy. And that's just the game. That's how it is. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it does suck not getting your money back out of it. So I feel like I've worn this topic out pretty well, right? It's pretty worn out, stretched out. And so now you can wear out the comment section down below and let me know what you think about these 2.0s. Are you excited about any of the 2.0s that are coming? Are you happy that companies have done it, are doing it? Do you feel like you got burned because you couldn't unload your other figures or anything like that? And do you disagree with any of my points? I've never, ever once gotten upset at anybody for disagreeing with me on any of my topics. And in fact, I've switched my mindset on a couple of points here and there because people make great points in the comments. But let me know in the comments. So like, subscribe. Todd Durham here out.